Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about how to properly VOD review and improve the fastest way possible on your own. So what I'm going to do is go through one of the games I played today. This was actually versus a pro player, 100 Thieves Ryoma. He's a 100 Thieves mid laner. And what I want to do is go through a checklist for you guys so you guys can apply this in your own review. So first of all, what do we need? Ideally, you actually have an OBS recording and the league client recording, because both, if you want to, if you're, say you're focusing on champion micro, for example, you want to be looking at your clicks and the why you're clicking the way you are, or maybe you're looking at your character movement and you want to see where you're moving and why you're moving the way you are. That's why you kind of need the POV VOD. But league client is really important because then you can kind of see the vision, you can see how you can pan your camera everywhere. It's just super important. So you need both of them ideally. If not, one of them is fine. Secondly, what you need is a notepad and pen, or a league, maybe a document, a Google Doc or some form. You need to have these ready to go and note these down.1, there's three things when you're playing a game of League, there's 1 or 3 things you're doing. Number 1, you're either playing for fun and mindlessly playing, you're not really trying, you're playing with your mates, so you got home from work, you're just playing a game. 2, you're playing to get a feel for the champion. So you're not focusing on anything specific. You're really trying hard, but you're just trying to get a feel for the champion. Feel out the damage, the champion's limits, his tankiness, his range, these sorts of things. And then you got 3, playing for specific growth in a specific area. So this is where review comes in handy. Really important. And it's not just about looking over a game, it's about the process and how you do that. And this is what I'm going to talk to you guys about. So what I recommend, guys, if you've already got a feel for the champion, you should focus on 1 or 2 things. And I do this is for when I coach professional players, this is how they did it. They focus on 1 or 2 things. All the players I've worked with are now in, EULCS or, LEC, sorry, and NALCS. They've done the same things. So, these are the kind of the list of things that you can have or potentially focus on in your gameplay. Champion micro / damage output, so this is maybe the way you position your character in the lane, how you go about your trade. So maybe it's your combos, maybe it's your weaving in and out of range. It's all around your specific champion combos or specific champion damage output. Then you've got wave manipulation. You may purely focus on wave manipulation. You might have character micro, which is just dodging skill shots, hitting skill shots, just positioning around terrain, that sort of thing. You've also got lane identity. How did you play your lane identity? Was the lane identity played correctly? Did you make decisions that are coherent with your lane identity? You may have jungle tracking. You might have a complete review through the eyes of you, see how well you jungle tracked. Side lane awareness, which is something I'm actually focusing on, is my awareness of assessing the side lane opportunities for me to roam as a mid laner, especially when I'm playing Rumble this game. And then warding, maybe how you used every single ward. Did you use every ward efficiently? The locations of them? Did you have wards in your inventory that you should have been using, etc.? And then, you may even just have champion limits, mid-game skirmishing, team fighting, your positioning, and how you play team fights. So these are just examples of all things you can potentially focus on. And again, 1 or 2 of these at max, sometimes even 1 of them. And some may be so complex. Maybe you're really struggling with your early laning phase on this specific matchup. All in on it until it's a habit. You need to, because when you scatter your mind everywhere, it's going to be really hard for you to improve on that specific thing. So we'll go through this game and I'll kind of go through it as if show you what I'm improving on. So for me, there's 2 things I'm improving on. It's actually my champion micro with Rumble, my trading pattern specifically because I'm actually learning Rumble. And then secondly, my side lane awareness, my ability, so both my roams to side lanes. Were the roams good? Did I miss opportunities to roam? And, and why didn't I see those roams? And how could I see them next time? So what I'm going to do is go over the game first quickly, reviewing these 2 things as if I'm reviewing it myself. And then I'll go back and then review it through the eyes of someone who was improving on something else. So you guys can kind of see and understand my thought process so you guys can do it on your own. So given that I'm focusing on, side lane awareness and then obviously my champion micro, there's only 2 things I'm going to be looking for. I'm not going to be focusing on my warding. I'm not going to be focusing on jungle tracking. Yes, these things are important, but I'll get to that. I don't want to overload myself. I want to really hone in on specific things. So that means I can actually speed up over things that, you know, weren't as more. Here, if I was looking at lane identity, for example, I'd be asking myself, why am I pushing level 1? Is this important for this matchup? Is it useful? I'd ask myself these sorts of questions. So I want to be looking for my trading. Am I taking favorable trades? How can I take trades that are better? So at the moment, I'm dodging his Q, which is not bad. Fast forward this a little bit because level 1 is not much going on. I'm trying to get as much poke off there. Proc my Scorch every single time it's up so I can poke him, and my Comet, because I'm actually running Comet Rumble. And I get level 2'd here, unfortunately. I have to blow my flash. And again, this is not something I would focus on. Yes, this is important, and this is something I will get to. Maybe, you know, this is something I'll improve on in the future, but for now, I need to stay on my path. I need to ignore the noise and focus on what I'm actually improving on. And yes, this may seem counterintuitive, and you may ask, Curtis, but what if you make really obvious mistakes? Yes, there is plenty of games that you're going to play. There is plenty of things that you need to improve on. Again, that's not something that I know that I don't need to improve on that right now. Like, yes, I made that mistake this game, but it's not that important to me. So there I was able to get a nice little Comet trade off. So I should be looking at my cooldowns here. I'm going to have my little HUD up there. And this actually would be a lot more helpful if I had the OBS recording. So here I could actually look at my point of view, and then that would allow me to see my trades a little bit easier. So I'm actually getting some nice little trades off there. I'm actually really happy with the way I'm trading at the moment. I'm proccing my Comet. Let me actually go back here. I want to break down this trade. So he's got his Tornado up here. I want to pop that. So I wanted to pop the shield quickly. And then I get the little flame on the back end there. And I get my E and an auto. See how that's super important. I'm really happy with that. Been working on my E auto if he goes in range and on melee matchups. So I'm happy with that. And again, I'm trying to get in range, constantly proc my... I'm dodging that, which is pretty good. So I should be trying to get some damage off as he goes for that cannon and actually make him miss the cannon. I'm tethering him quite nice actually using my range advantage, which is nice. So far the trading's been not too bad. I'm pretty happy with the trading. Fast forward just a touch. And again, I'm not focusing on the waves. I'm not focusing on my jungle tracking. I'm not focusing on my warding, guys. We're really honing in here. We're really honing in on what I've said that I've mentioned. And at the moment, it's too early for me to roam, so I'm not even thinking about my side lane awareness, which is something that I'll get to because that's more of like the transition between early to mid game, you know. So I should have actually been walking up a little bit further here. I think I remember I actually wanted to get a ward, but I could have easily procced his shield there. So now the way I should be trading, I've got vision on top side. I can just constantly walk at him. E as soon as he walks at me to get the damage off. I see Lee Sin on top side. So it's hard for me to kind of walk up and trade at the moment, so I'm playing like a bit of a bitch. And then I see Lee Sin just hovering around that top side, getting a little E off. So that's actually quite annoying here. I'm not dodging those tornadoes, so I don't even use because I'm not using my W either because I'm thinking that I'm just able to dodge them. So this is really bad in terms of trading. This is how I take... So right now I should be assessing, okay, he's going for a tornado. I should be standing away from the wave. And yeah, so I don't even W and I don't dodge it. And I don't dodge the Lee Sin Q. So that kind of gets into character micro. But again, just the trades, I need to be really thinking about Tornado. So that's something I'm already thinking about now. Maybe that's something I need to work on, is identifying how I need to dodge those skill shots a little bit better. And working on putting more mental energy into that. So I end up just shoving here and resetting. Fast forward this a little bit again. Not worried too much on anything else. Got a ward here. So now, in terms of trading, I need to be a little bit careful. Alright. Break down that trade, actually. Was it even worth me going for this trade? So I kind of need to talk about the minion waves if I'm going to talk about champion trading. Because right now, look at this. He's got a big wave built up. It's a bad trade for me. I shouldn't even have been walking up. I should have just waited for him to kind of walk in a little bit there. Yes, it wasn't much HP, but it was never going to be a favorable trade for me because he was playing with the minions. So I'm able to kind of fry these minions, sizzle them down. So I've got to start looking for side lane awareness soon. So now I'm about to hit 6. So Rumble's one of those champions you can actually roam quite well once you hit 6 because you're ranged with your ultimate. It's quite good. You can dive, sorry. Okay. So what do we got here? Okay, that's not too bad of a trade. Let's go back here and break this down a bit. I think I'm missing damage here. So I get the E, which is quite nice. But I don't get in range for that Q. I think I didn't... My clicks are too far at the moment. That's one thing I'm definitely seeing in this VOD. Okay, that was actually good. I overheated there because I was able to get a lot of damage. He didn't have the shield up, which is not bad. Right now, it's difficult for me to trade. But what I should be doing right now is that I actually should be stepping outside the wave and looking to E him to break his shield. Right now, I'm actually not doing anything. I don't know why I'm not creating an angle to pop his shield. I should always be thinking, okay, how should I should step out the wave to try and proc my comet, or proc his shield, break his shield, or proc my scorch, that type of thing. I'm just sitting behind the minions. I'm not utilizing my E. I'm not positioning my character very well here, which is kind of hindering me from getting favorable trades. So that's okay. That was an okay trade, but on the back end there, I took an extra Q that I shouldn't have taken. So I get that E. He uses the tornado. I'm using my passive quite well. Like, I'm getting it into the yellow bar quite well whenever I go for a trade. But again, I'm getting hit by those tornadoes, which is really hurting my trading at the moment. He's getting trades on the back end. Again, guys, notice how I'm not focusing on anything else. I'm purely focusing on just looking at my trading. Why is he like winning in trades? Yes, he has double Dorans and a refillable. I don't have any pots, but again, I'm just looking at trades there. I'm able to get a nice little E. I use my W this time because it's too close range and I can't dodge that, so I'm quite happy with that one. Trying to tether. Lee Sin's coming to gank. Use my ult. So that was, yeah, this was well played by me. And I get out. So this was actually played really well by me. I was happy with this one. So here, I know that Lee Sin was probably in river. I'm autoing attacking is what I did at E auto. I know he's going to jump on me, and instead of flashing, I'm like, okay, if you want to ult me, I'm just going to ult myself. So if you want to he just takes a lot of damage from my ult. Lee Sin has to walk through it, and I tether the Yasuo Q on the end there, and I get a nice little kill. So that was a really good, I'm happy with my micro there. My champion micro was actually pretty good in my trading. So far, so good. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's fast forward a little bit because I just catch waves for a bit before I base. So now, I haven't been able to look at my side lanes at the moment yet because I haven't had the opportunity to roam since we've had no river control and I've been kind of stuck in this 1v1. But now, I think I have a bit of tempo on this guy. So let's see what I do with this. So they're doing dragon. Akali's just died before, I'm pretty sure. So let's see what I do off this. What's my side lane awareness? Could I have... No, he has to reset. I go clear a ward in bot river. And my bot lane's resetting. Okay. So there's really not much I could have done there. In terms of side lane awareness, it wasn't the end of the world. And then I walk up. I must get a ward on top side. Okay. So overheat. Okay, this was a nice trade. Nice trade, Curtis. Let's go back here. It's not even just thinking about, yes, you do a good trade. You need to also be thinking about, why was it a good trade? So, guys, remember, on my notepad, what I would be jotting down for me is, so far, what I've seen is, pay attention to there's two things I've noticed with my trading is, I'm not positioning in a way to maximize my ability to hit my E. I'm not like swinging my champion outside the lane so I can position the E to come in from the different angle to be able to proc his shield and proc my Scorch and my Comet, which is one thing. And then also I'm not dodging tornadoes enough, which means that I'm either not putting enough focus on it or I'm putting an over-reliance on my ability to dodge on a champion like Rumble, or I need to accept reality and just use my scrap shield as soon as he throws his tornadoes, which is something I need to reflect on after this game. So yeah, he walks in my range. I use my overheat quite well here. I get an auto. I step back off the minion so he can't use his tornado on me. It's going pretty well so far. Alright, so I end up pushing here. So side lane awareness right now. I should definitely be roaming top right now. And I actually do. Holy shit. I'm a genius. So look at this. So if I were to pause it right after this wave, I can't go bot because I've got a little bit of a respite in the lane. I've like kind of shoved him in a little bit. I know I have vision topside, so I'm not going to walk over a pink. And I can't go bot, so going top here is kind of overextended, so I end up walking top here. So I'm actually really happy with my awareness there. That was like a no hesitation roam, and I just go straight up here. See how this pans out. I see him here. Let's see how I actually end up in terms of champion micro. I'm trying to wait for him to get the stun. Then I ult. Boom. E. And he dies. So I was actually played micro-wise quite well. And I think the side lane awareness was... I'm really happy with my side lane awareness there, which has been a weakness in my gameplay. So, you know, giving myself a pat on the back there. I'm quite happy with how my side lane awareness was in my micro. So far, my practice on Rumble has actually kind of paid off. So I'm 2-0 right now. You know, played the lane okay. Not too bad. Not great, but not too bad. Again, side lane awareness. What am I going to do here? Got this little wave in. And I'm leaning onto top side. I kill this ward. I'm not basing, no. Get this wave in. Again, lean straight top side. Is leaning top side or bot side better here? My side lane awareness. Well, given that bot's under tower, catching a wave. Karthus is doing Rift Herald. Pretty sure my teammate in side lane awareness is pretty good here. I think leaning onto the top side, because Aurelia's kind of fed. He's like pretty fed on this Akali. My jungler's kind of doing this Rift Herald. So I think leaning onto the top side is quite appropriate. I don't think there was much I could have done bot anyway, because their jungler would have been there, my jungler wouldn't have been. So, there's not much interaction so far in the lane. I end up getting a little base off. I've got my Zhonya's looking quite fresh. Okay, fight. So, this is, let's see this. So, remember, I'm walking out of base. This is just awareness. Assess my awareness. How could I play this better? Lee Sin flash kicks, gets the ult off Yasuo. I get a nice little ult here. And he dies. I go in here. I flash. Damage output. Do I overheat Q? Yes, overheat Q. Nice, dead. Okay. Not bad in terms of how I played that. I'm pretty happy. My ult positioning's actually been really spot on so far. And my damage output, how I've overheated. I haven't overheated incorrectly in fights. I think I've actually used my I don't know what it's called, danger zone quite well, so quite happy with that one. So what do I do after this wave? So if I were to pause it right here, bot, they're getting bot tower, top's pushing all the way in. What do I decide to do? I actually decide to go for a plate. Yes, I don't have ult. I have ult in 35 seconds. Was this the correct play? Maybe it was, given that I didn't have ultimate. So you can kind of tell, guys. So I think this is a correct call, given that I didn't have ult and Yasuo was coming back. I know this is a game, guys, where like you can kind of see where I'm going. So what I'm going to do right now, I think I've gone through most of like my early roaming opportunities. We'll keep it at that. And then what we'll do, we'll go back now from the start. And now I'm just going to go through, hypothetically, another thing. Let's look at two things now. I'll watch it again. Say, warding and jungle tracking were my weaknesses. So I want to go through quickly, at least the first 10 minutes, guys, about how would I go about that, improving on that. So let's just say I was focusing on jungle tracking. So already I should be thinking about versing a Lee Sin. So if I'm versing a Lee Sin, this means I should be thinking about Lee Sin can do, at the moment, they don't really do 3 camp bot side anymore. They generally do like red, blue, Gromp to get like level 3 quickly. Because you don't need to do 3, you get level 3, off those 3 camps. And his early ganks are really good, so I need to be really careful. I don't like warding level 1 anymore nowadays. I kind of like waiting till I kind of push it in and then ward for around scuttle time. So I don't really blame myself for not warding. So in terms of jungle tracking, I should already be thinking about, I'm actually quite vulnerable. I'm a champion that has no escape, no mobility, a melee champion who has to walk up to the wave. So already my jungle tracking is actually quite poor, because I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like, I should have understood that I'm a mobile champion. Lee Sin can do these sorts of like level 2 ganks, and I have a Karthus who can't respond early. So this is something that I would really, really review and hone in. I would make a note, say 2 minutes, timestamp, failed to assess jungle track Lee Sin properly, and then yeah, I would like kind of let that gestate in my mind and really think about that. And again, this is just one game, but I'll do that again and again and again in my reviews. So next, in terms of warding, I don't really have an opportunity to ward. It looks like Karthus is pinging him on the red, but I can't do anything at the moment because kind of Yasuo is pushing me in, and I don't want to miss it. If I let this wave crash, I'm just going to miss a shit ton of CS. So then Lee Sin's done red to red. So already what I should be thinking about in terms of jungle tracking, I should be thinking, like if I were to pause the VOD right here, most likely Lee Sin's going to go onto his bot side, get his blue, maybe his Gromp, or just blue into Scuttle, blue Gromp into Scuttle. He wants to probably double Scuttle this Karthus, I'm assuming, because he's already denied the red. He knows Karthus is going to be on top side because he's pathed. He came with level 3 and he had no red buff. That means he's done 3 camp bot side, which means, and Lee Sin also checked level 2, the Karthus's blue, which means that Lee Sin gets his Scuttle, because he's got top push, Akali's got top push as well, he's going to go probably blue, Gromp, this into this, or just blue, Scuttle, bot Scuttle. He's going to look to double Scuttle most likely. So already I should be thinking about warding. I should be either looking toward bot side here so I can see Lee Sin, oh sorry, top side, sorry, to see Lee Sin on this Scuttle. So I can maybe look to contest, or just to help out my team and give them information, because just because I know it doesn't mean the rest of the team knows it. And that will give me a side to lean on as well. So jungle tracking, I'm kind of leaning. I've got the shove on mid, so let's see where I ward. Ideally, I should be warding onto the top side. So to check whether or not my jungle tracking was actually, you know, on point or not, what I would actually do is toggle this, the vision here to see what Lee actually did. So Lee actually did blue, and then he did Gromp, and then he actually goes into top river. And what did I do with my ward here? I actually warded top side, which will help spot Lee on top river. So I'm actually really happy with my jungle tracking here, because I warded the correct side, and now this will actually give me ability to kind of push my limits in lane like this, and will give me a side to lean on as soon as I see Lee Sin here. So you can already see now I'm able to kind of push my limits, walk up in CS, not be scared. I see Lee Sin, so I'm able to just back up here. So far, if I were to look at this from a jungle tracking or, you know, warding perspective, things are going not too bad. Apart from that level 2 gank from Lee Sin, things are not going too bad. So I should be, again, looking to get this wave in, because I know Lee Sin's on Scuttle, so I have a bit of a little break here. And I'm able to get a little reset onto this Yasuo. And right now, I actually don't know where Lee Sin is. I was coming out of base, I'm not sure. I'm assuming he did bot Scuttle into maybe he went to do his bot 2 camps, or he reset. He's either done his Raptors Krog, doing Raptors Krogs resetting, or just doing his this Scuttle here and then resetting. Or see what let's actually check this. So he's done this Scuttle, and now he's just coming back. What's he doing here? So he's actually just sitting here, really. I'm able to get a ward. Oh, and then I ward here and spot him out. And then I actually... So this is really good warding by me. I pink onto bot river, knowing that Lee Sin most likely isn't going to be in river anymore, because he would have got the Scuttle ages ago. So I know that I'd be able to kind of clear that. And then Karthus is in the area since he's come off a reset. Because I know Karthus would have tempo in Lee Sin, because he gave up both Scuttles. And then also I'm able to chuck a ward here and spot out Lee Sin, because I know he's most likely on bot side or reset. So I'm pretty happy with my warding in terms of jungle tracking. Like, I'd be, you know, pat myself on the back for this one. This is actually not too bad. So fast forward this a little bit. Now I actually don't know where Lee Sin is. He's either done like Raptors into Krugs into reset, or he did just Raptors then reset. I'm actually unsure right now. So then I just see Rakan here. So straight away, something I should be thinking about in terms of warding. I don't have any wards. He just clears my pink ward, so I don't have any vision. I know most likely Lee Sin's actually going to want to contest this top Scuttle. So you should be looking to me to kind of play appropriately and not get ganked by this Lee Sin. I should be either leaning onto the bot side of the lane here, or leaning onto the top side knowing that we're going to contest. But given Karthus is in base, this Scuttle's coming up very, very soon. I should not be kind of looking to play aggressive, because I know I can easily get ganked here. And as you can see already, I'm playing quite defensively up in the lane, because I know Lee Sin, we don't have any river control. I know Lee Sin's most likely in top. So I'm not really putting the hurt on Yasuo at the moment. And this is, you can kind of tell, playing these melee champions, how difficult it is. And yes, Lee Sin's coming out of top side here. I'm leaning onto the bot side. I'm able to get my ult off here. And like I said before, we're able to kill Lee Sin. And again, I'm really happy with myself in terms of jungle tracking this game. This is a skill I've kind of already developed over time, and it may look very simple to do. But again, this is something that over years I've really focused on, honed in on, and I'm really quite happy with it. And again, this is why I'm not focusing on it, is because I know I jungle track really well. That's one of my strengths. But again, before, my champion micro and my side lane awareness is something that I'm quite weak on. So that's an area I want to focus on. So guys, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So again, what I recommend to round this video off, and hopefully it makes sense here, is that you should be focusing on one or two things maximum. You should be taking notes in your document or your notepad, the timestamps, and then being able to reflect over time, take notes, and then compile these notes, and you'll start to see trends. You'll start to say, oh, I always get ganked level 2, or I always miss opportunities in the side lane, or you'll start to see trends in your gameplay, and that's where you can really start to take notes. And this way, if you every single game you do this, you'll start to realize your habits, you'll start to improve like significantly on these things. And guys, I'm going to be starting my coaching very soon in the new year, so I'll be able to step you guys through which one should you be focusing on, how to actually improve on it. I'll be holding your hand, doing it with you guys together. So this is something I'll do in my service. But again, this is something you guys can start with on your own, have a crack, and start to slowly improve on your own. So cheers, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you have a good New Year's. If I don't put another video out until then, thanks for watching, and don't forget the Discord below. Cheers.